The village of Harlow's End was quiet, peaceful. It was the kind of place where secrets whispered on the wind. Nestled among the quaint cottages and cobbled streets was an antique shop. Its name was barely visible on the faded sign, Treasures of Time. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of forgotten things. Each object held a story, none more sinister than the ornate silver-framed mirror tucked away in a dark corner. The mirror was a thing of beauty and dread. Its surface was clouded with age, yet a faint glimmer hinted at the secrets it held. The silver frame was intricately carved with figures of nymphs and satyrs, their expressions twisted into grotesque smiles. It stood there, a silent sentinel, waiting for its next victim, waiting for Emily. Emily was drawn to the antique shop like a moth to a flickering flame. She loved the weight of history, the echoes of forgotten lives. When she saw the mirror, she felt a chill. Despite the unease, she was captivated. Its ornate frame and the strange energy it seemed to radiate were irresistible. Emily ran her fingers lightly over the cold glass. A shiver ran down her spine. "Beautiful, isn't she?" A raspy voice startled her. The shopkeeper, a hunched figure with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of knowledge, emerged from the shadows. "It's intriguing," Emily replied, her voice barely a whisper. "Be careful," the shopkeeper warned, his voice low and grave. "Some treasures are best left undisturbed." Emily hesitated, a flicker of doubt crossing her face. "What do you mean?" she asked, her gaze shifting from the mirror to the shopkeeper. The old man sighed, leaning heavily on his cane. "That mirror," he began, his voice barely audible above the ticking of an old grandfather clock, "has a history, a dark one. Some say it's cursed." Emily tried to laugh, but the sound caught in her throat. "A curse? You can't believe that?" The shopkeeper fixed her with a piercing stare. "Belief has nothing to do with it. Some things are best left undisturbed, especially reflections that move on their own." Emily dismissed the shopkeeper's warnings as superstitious nonsense. She purchased the mirror, ignoring the unease that gnawed at the edges of her mind. At home, she placed the mirror in her bedroom. It was a mistake. From the moment she hung it, the atmosphere in the room changed. A subtle chill lingered in the air. Whispers seemed to emanate from the mirror's surface, too faint to decipher. And the reflection was never quite right. Sometimes Emily would catch her reflection moving when she stood still. A fleeting smile that wasn't her own, a blink that lingered too long. Section 5. A change in reflection. Nights became the worst. Emily would lie awake, her heart pounding in her chest as she watched her reflection in the mirror. It moved with a life of its own, mimicking her at first, then growing bolder. It would turn its head, looking around the room with an unnerving curiosity. One night, Emily woke with a start. The room was dark, but the mirror seemed to glow with an unnatural light. Her breath caught in her throat. Her reflection stood there, staring back at her with a malevolent smile. Section 6. Trapped. Terror froze Emily in place. She wanted to scream, to run, but her body refused to obey. The reflection reached out from the mirror, its hand passing through the glass as if it were water. Long, sharp nails dug into her arms, pulling her towards the mirror's surface. Emily struggled, her screams silent, her eyes wide with terror. The cold glass pressed against her face, the reflection's grin widening into a triumphant smirk. Then everything went black. The mirror returned to its deceptively normal state. No one could hear Emily's muffled screams from within. She was trapped. Section 7. The new Emily. The reflection stepped out of the mirror. It was Emily, or rather, a twisted, corrupted version of her. It wore her face, her clothes, but its eyes glittered with an unsettling light, and its lips were perpetually curved into a cruel smile. The new Emily walked through the house, testing her stolen life. She examined her reflection in the bathroom mirror, a satisfied smirk playing on her lips. Everything was going according to plan. The curse of the mirror had claimed another victim. Section 8. whispers and shadows. At first no one noticed anything different. The creature wearing Emily's skin played its part well, but as days turned into weeks, cracks began to show. Emily's friends noticed a change in her behavior. She was withdrawn, secretive. Her laughter was too sharp, her smile devoid of warmth. She spoke in riddles, her words laced with a chilling undercurrent that sent shivers down their spines. Section 9. A gathering darkness. Emily's family too felt the shift. Her once warm hugs felt cold and distant. Her eyes, once filled with laughter and love, now held a chilling emptiness that made their blood run cold. They tried to talk to her, to understand what was wrong. But their concerns were met with icy indifference, or worse, a cold fury that was terrifying in its intensity. A darkness had fallen over Emily, and it was spreading, tainting everything it touched. Section 10. The Haunting Truth. The once vibrant Emily was gone. In her place was a stranger, a being of malice and shadow that wore her face like a mask. The antique shop at Harlow's End stood silent, its secrets safe within its dusty walls. And within the depths of the ornate mirror, Emily's true reflection screamed. A prisoner of her own vanity, her pleas for help lost in the echoing silence of the cursed glass. The curse of the mirror had claimed another soul. The question wasn't if someone would notice the change in Emily. The question was, would they realize the horrifying truth before it was too late? Or would the reflection consume Emily's life entirely, leaving her friends and family to face the chilling reality that the woman they loved was gone, replaced by something monstrous, something truly haunting?